Day 1. Arrival in Cairo. The moment I landed in Cairo, that warm, golden haze of North Africa wrapped around me like a silk scarf. Even the airport air felt ancient, humming with stories. A representative from Memphis Tours met me with a wide smile and a sign with my name. It was comforting and effortless. On the drive to the hotel, I couldn't stop staring out the window, soaking in the organized chaos of Cairo's traffic, the sandy tones of the buildings, and the call to prayer echoing over the rooftops like a welcome chant. Summary of the day: the magic of stepping into a city that feels like the gateway to ancient time. Day 2, Pyramids of Giza, the Sphinx, and the Grand Egyptian Museum. I had seen the pyramids in pictures all my life, but standing before the Great Pyramid of Khufu, I lost my breath. I pressed my hand to the stone, cool and sun-warmed all at once, and just stood there. The Sphinx gazed past me, mysterious and regal, like it knew every secret of the Sahara. The Valley Temple nearby felt solemn and timeless, a sacred hush even with other tourists around. Later, inside the Grand Egyptian Museum, I was pulled deep into stories of kings, queens, mummies, and treasures. The Tutankhamun exhibit glowed. I felt like I was walking through chapters of a book I'd loved as a child. Summary of the day: touching the ancient stones of the pyramid. It was like touching a living heartbeat. Day 3. Fly to Luxor Nile cruise begins. After a smooth flight to Luxor, I stepped onto the cruise ship that would become my floating home. The Nile sparkled beside me, both exotic and familiar. That afternoon, I wandered beneath the towering columns of the Karnak temples, vast, hushed, sun-baked, and then through the tranquil Luxor temple. I couldn't believe the detail etched into every surface. Even centuries later, the stone whispered to me. Summary of the day: the Nile carried me not just through Egypt, but through time. Day 4. Valley of the Kings, Hatshepsut Temple, Colossi of Memnon. This morning was a spiritual punch to the gut in the best way. The Valley of the Kings gave me chills. Inside the tombs, the hieroglyphs still danced on the walls, vivid as if painted yesterday. The temple of Queen Hatshepsut was something else, symmetrical, powerful, utterly defiant in the cliffs of Deir el-Bahari. I stood there, imagining her command over an empire in a man's world. The Colossi of Memnon rose like guardians of ancient memories, silent, immovable. We sailed to Edfu as the sun painted the Nile gold. I watched the sky from the ship's deck, sipping hibiscus tea, the wind soft and sweet. Summary of the day: I felt the presence of the dead, but in the most beautiful, eternal way. Day 5. Edfu and Kom Ombo temples. We visited the temple of Edfu early, my sandals crunching against the stone as I passed towering reliefs of the falcon god Horus. The temple is incredibly well preserved. I could almost hear the chants. Later, at Kom Ombo, I was struck by its duality. The temple split for Sobek and Horus, crocodile and falcon, dark and light. I lingered at the crocodile mummies exhibit, oddly fascinated. These temples didn't just tell stories. They were stories. Summary of the day: a temple built for two gods, and somehow both felt present. Day 6. Aswan, unfinished obelisk and temple of Philae. Aswan enchanted me. First, the unfinished obelisk, massive, raw and abandoned, made me ponder the hands that once shaped it and why they stopped. The cracks, the incomplete grandeur, it all made it more human. The Temple of Philae, though, was utterly divine. Sitting on its island, like a dream, it was dedicated to Isis and Hathor, and felt delicate, feminine, almost romantic. The carvings, the serenity, I didn't want to leave. Summary of the day, a goddess temple floating on the Nile. Pure myth, made real. Day 7, Aswan to Cairo. Bittersweet morning as we disembarked from the cruise. One last goodbye to the Nile. Flying back to Cairo, the view below, dusty dunes and ribbons of green, reminded me just how much Egypt is a tapestry of contrast. Back in Cairo, I checked into the hotel, washed off the desert dust, and took a slow evening stroll. Cairo at night, buzzing, bold, full of laughter and headlights, felt like an entirely different chapter. Summary of the day, the Nile said goodbye like a whisper. Cairo welcomed me back with a roar. Day 8, fly to Kenya, welcome to Nairobi. My heart raced all through the flight to Nairobi, from pharaohs to savannahs. At Jomo Kenyatta Airport, the shift in vibe was immediate. Nairobi was green, pulsing with nature and life. At Nairobi's Serena Hotel, I was greeted with such grace. A cool drink, warm towels, soft smiles. My room overlooked a lush courtyard. Peace after motion. As I watched the sunset paint the sky behind the city's skyline, I knew Africa has many voices, and I was just starting to listen to a new one. Summary of the day, a continent, a contrast, a second beginning, from temples to treetops.